Here's what's coming up on Retirement Planning Made Easy.
We don't say that you should completely avoid risk in retirement. That's not the case. But we do focus on balancing a blend of growth assets and safe assets. If the market's up, you can benefit. But if the market's down, you still have some of those accounts that are completely protected.
One of the things we see, especially with small business owners, is that sometimes they won't even have a retirement plan created for their business, even if it's just them. And a retirement plan in general is an excellent tool for managing taxes because you can put money into it pre-tax or after-tax, whatever works better for you.
Your retirement planning, in my opinion, can't be a standalone. It needs to be looked at from tax efficiency. Because it's one thing to just say, I'm going to have enough money throughout my retired life. It's another thing to say, I'm going to have enough money in strategic positions for the rest of my life.
We pride ourselves on being educational. And so the number one thing we're going to try to do is educate that client and make them comfortable and make sure that they understand what we're talking about, because it's so important that they understand their finances.
And now, the host of Retirement Planning Made Easy.
Welcome to this week's show.
We've got 30 minutes of great information prepped up just for you.
And the show starts right now.
Today on the roundtable, we're talking about planning for rising taxes. We don't know when this is going to take place, but I think it might be a fair assessment to say that taxes are at a historical low right now, and we know that things are going on in Washington that could make them go up, could make them stay the same. Even if they stay the same, future administrations could change things. So it's always a big mystery and a question mark in Washington, D.C. But Brad, would it be fair to say that the smart investor is planning that at some point taxes will go up?
I would say so, yeah. And if you're planning the taxes are going to go up in the future at some point, then now is the time to do something about it.
And when we talk about do something, Lucas, let's talk about the Roth to get started, because that's probably the most obvious piece. And I think it's also one of those pieces where a lot of people are wondering, how in the heck do I do that, right? Should I take a small amount? Should I take a large amount? How do we go about calculating, number one, is a Roth right for somebody? And then number two, how much do we move?
Sure. So that is one thing that we consider. Is the Roth conversion right for a client? In some instances, it's not. But for the most part, we see generally a lot of clients will and be able to do the Roth conversion. The amount that someone can convert is completely up to them. Basically, it's how much tax do they want to pay. And that's the main idea behind the Roth conversion is take advantage of the lower tax rates now, take and pay the tax on the pre-tax traditional IRA accounts now, and that way we're positioning it to Roth IRA where it's going to grow tax-free. And the best thing about that is after certain rules have been met, that income is completely tax-free as well.
And how does this affect RMDs?
Well, that's a great question. All of those pre-taxed accounts, those required minimum distributions, start at a specified age. By positioning it to a Roth, you don't have to worry about those required minimum distributions. So if you're not ready to start pulling from your retirement accounts, Uncle Sam's not forcing you to.
Interesting. And then with the Roth as well, I know a lot of 401ks offer the Roth option. Is that a smart thing to take advantage of? And it's probably different, Brad, obviously per individual, per couple.
Yes.
But is this something that you talk about with your folks? Is this a viable option for the most part?
Well, I have talked to my parents about it, but we talk to our clients as well about Roth. Yeah, and one of the first things, if they're still contributing to a 401k and they're still working, then yeah, we're going to look at whether there's a Roth option and then see whether that makes sense for them. Because as you travel through your working life, you're hopefully making more and more and more money. So at any given point, you're probably at a lower tax rate than you would be in the future, because hopefully by the time you approach retirement, you're making more money. So if somebody is still contributing to a 401k, then we're definitely looking for the Roth option. If they are retired and in a 401k, then we're probably looking to move them to an IRA so that we can move it to a Roth IRA rather than a Roth 401k.
You know, something that we haven't talked about in past shows with rising taxes is I'm a business owner. Are there some special things that are available to me or things that I need to be aware of? Because you've worked with your fair share of business owners. The number one thing for them is paying taxes. Like, where can I get, not around it, we want to obviously stay within the tax code, but they might not know all of these advantages that are coming to them by virtue of owning a business.
Yeah, one of the things we see, especially with small business owners, is that sometimes they won't even have a retirement plan created for their business, even if it's just them. And a retirement plan in general is an excellent tool for managing taxes because you can put money into it pre-tax or after tax, whatever works better for you, but it gets it out of the business, so to speak, and into a retirement plan in your name. And so if you're not utilizing that as a small business owner, it's something you should explore.
So let's talk about some other strategies. Business owner, not a business owner, individual. What are some of the other things, strategies I mean, that we can talk about to let people know, hey, if we have to plan for rising taxes, you should potentially consider this?
You know, we have some great software and planning tools that we use at the office to look at the whole picture and figure out, hey, can we take advantage of these lower rates right now? Will it help you in the future? So we have tons of different tools at our disposal that we can use to really look at that picture and figure out a plan.
Lucas, Brad, thank you so much. Planning for rising taxes. This is a big one. If you want more information about it, hey, pick up that phone, give us a call in the office. We'd love to meet with you. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're watching Retirement Planning Made Easy.
Now more than ever, it's vitally important to review your current retirement plan and get an educated second opinion. Hi, I'm Lucas Dengler, and for many American retirees and pre-retirees, this is a confusing time. As a local business here in the Quad Cities for over 30 years, we have educated thousands of families on how to retire well through all market conditions. Call now or scan the QR code on the screen to schedule your complimentary consultation. The Advisory Group, providing financial peace of mind since 1991.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Mastering Retirement with TAG. Brian, I'm really excited about this topic. And I remember when you put this proprietary branded system together. And I think what's really important to announce here, maybe not an announcement, but all advisors are not created equal. I think that's a very fair statement. Some have different designations, some specialize in different things. Quite frankly, I think there's some that might not really be financial advisors. They're very particular in one area and they can give you a specific piece. Here's my point. At TAG, you do all of the items that fall under the comprehensive wealth management. So if I'm truly going to go into retirement and I have all of these pieces, and we're going to assess them one by one here, this is how we know we can have a true retirement plan to take us to and through retirement. So I'm going to start right here. How did we come up with the name TOP? What does it mean?
Well, what I was looking for years, because we were doing this type of planning, but I really never had a system or a process behind it. So I wanted something that was helping, and I kept coming up with connect the dots, and really helping clients look at things from the viewpoint of saying, wait a minute, if I do this and I have that and I do this, how does that work together? So through the process of thinking this through and so on, I came up with the TAG optimization process. The idea is connecting those dots, not just saying, okay, I have one thing, but what does that mean on other areas of planning?
Yeah, and if one is left out, okay, that could be a big dollar difference in retirement. Sure. And I always like to remind, hey, we're not making money anymore. Once we say, that's it, I'm pulling eject, I'm out, I'm now going to go into full retirement, there's no more incoming dollars from work. So I need to optimize the dollars that I have. And if one of these is not in place correctly, wow, there could be, and the first one that popped out at me here was healthcare. And I'm just going to start there, though retirement planning and income is probably number one. Let's take a second and talk about the healthcare planning. I was reading an article that suggested that the average couple going into retirement, their out-of-pocket expenses were going to be between, depending on where they were in the country, $200,000 and $250,000. Now, doesn't necessarily have to be that way, right, if you do proper planning. So let's start there.
Okay. Well, again, one of the things that I think and why I included this is it's a critical thing that retirees need to address today that most people look past or put off. And I think there's various reasons for that. It's not a fun topic to necessarily think of where your health could go in the future. But with all of us living longer, the longevity factor in our country today and everything, I think health care planning should not be overlooked, which would obviously encompass not only the health care needs throughout retirement, like maybe Medicare and like a supplement or Advantage plan and things like that. It would also look at the issue of chronic care needs, assisted living, home health care, nursing home. What if that does happen? It's a stress test part of this too, is to go into this with it, where you actually would look at within the portfolio to say, what if this does happen?
And again, how many advisors are actually delving into that topic with their clients? Okay, let's go to, I'll take right at the top here, full retirement planning. Talk to me.
Okay, retirement planning is put on there for the basics. Again, I think the idea of starting with retirement planning is a lot of people probably think they're doing retirement planning and maybe have done a very good job of retirement planning. It's probably something advisors do overall is a big focus for a lot of advisors. The difference here again is your retirement planning, in my opinion, can't be a standalone. It needs to be looked at from tax efficiency. Because it's one thing to just say, I'm going to have enough money throughout my retired life. It's another thing to say, I'm going to have enough money in strategic positions for the rest of my life.
We've talked about this in several other shows, the tax efficiency piece. This is really a specialty at TAG. Fair?
Fair.
Yeah. And I know that you actually do seminars around town.
We do.
Specifically talking about the power of the tax code for tax reduction. I'm not getting the headline exactly right, forgive me. But this is a big variable in retirement, and one that retirees and pre-retirees can really grab the bull by the horns and significantly change, for some people, the amount of money that they're going to be able to spend comfortably in retirement, right?
And grossly overlooked.
Grossly overlooked.
Where we're at today, there should be more tax efficiency done. Anybody that has not done any tax efficiency planning with the just based alone on the tax rate environment we're in right now is probably missing opportunities. Okay.
Investment planning.
Investment planning, again, it might be something that a lot of people think they have taken care of. But that's where you go into the issue of looking, is your portfolio truly diversified? What does it mean to you to have investment planning? What we look, again, is make it a piece of our plan so that you're looking at it, yeah, we need to get that right. It is an important area that you need to have right, but it needs to be connected.
Wealth management planning.
Wealth management planning to us really speaks a lot about legacy planning. That's probably the main area in wealth management planning. A lot of times, one reason we all want to accumulate wealth is just not to have this big pile of money sitting there. We want to have a purpose for that money. So that purpose is what you're coming to determine what your wealth management is for.
And then lastly here, because I think we've talked about these other pieces, is retirement withdrawal planning. Is that paying yourself? Is that we're talking about paying yourself now, or what?
It's like you worked a lot of years, hard work put in and so on. Now you want to get that money back. And the idea is you can't just go into that to say, okay, I'm going to start withdrawing money. You need a plan. You need to know, again, how does it affect in the circle? How does it affect tax-wise? How much do you need? You have to assess your needs and the idea of what it is. How much other income do you have coming? How much of the income should be guaranteed? All of those factors.
Brian, thank you so much. Comprehensive Wealth Management, 6 points, the top program. If you want more information, and we'd love to share that with you, hey, pick up the phone, give us a call in the office, and let's set up a time to talk together. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're watching Retirement Planning Made Easy.
At the Advisory Group, we understand the importance of smart tax planning. Maximize your returns and minimize your stress with our unique tax efficiency strategies. Don't let taxes weigh you down. Keep more of your hard-earned money. Call the Advisory Group today to experience the freedom of tax efficiency planning. Call now or scan the QR code on your screen to schedule your complimentary consultation. The Advisory Group, providing financial peace of mind since 1991.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Retirement True or False. Brian, Lucas, I have some great questions this week. We ready?
We're ready.
All right, Brian, first question for you. If you leave a company, you should leave your 401k there as well? True or false?
I would say in most cases false. Okay, there may be some exceptions due to your planning or your circumstances why you would want to keep it there. But generally, most people are looking for ways to consolidate, make it part of their overall portfolio, utilize it within a planner, things like that.
You might also even be paying extra fees by leaving it in that old plan too.
Right.
And I think a lot of people maybe just are unaware. It's in an investment vehicle. I open the statements. They tend to go up. Why do I need to move that? What are the benefits to me, Brian, about rolling that over into something else?
Well, the first thing, like I said before, is consolidation. Don't have to have it hanging over there, especially in an area where you're getting little or no service on it, probably. But the other things you can do is now you can incorporate it into your overall planning. So maybe some tax efficiency planning. Should you be doing some Roth conversions with it? So you can look at it, what it means in your life.
Yeah, and the thing that I think about, Brian, is I have some more choices now.
Right.
There's other things that I can do because it's a very limited list most of the time with how I can have that money invested.
Right. And it also opens up the issue that you might be doing something and planning or some products or programs that aren't even available at all within your 401k.
Gotcha. Lucas, next question for you. You should consider being less risky with your investments in retirement. True or false?
It's going to be true. We don't say that you should completely avoid risk in retirement. That's not the case. But we do focus on balancing a blend of growth assets and safe assets. If the market's up, you can benefit. But if the market's down, you still have some of those accounts that are completely protected. So it's really great to diversify. But yeah, growth or risk in retirement, I should say, is something that we should lower a bit. But it is nice to have that diversification.
How do we make this case to people? Because, they've got what they have, they open their statements, they think that I'm fine the way it is, and then a 2008 happens.
Yeah,
right? A 2002 happens.
Yeah.
So would you say that it's a fair statement to say the majority of people don't fully understand the potential risk of their portfolio?
I'd say that's correct. If we look back at what happened in 2008, if we are taking income from a product that's in the market and the market tanks, you are now risking you not having enough money or income sources. So we do look at that picture, and that's why we like to combine our safer investments as a place for income and still have a little bit of growth or risk in retirement.
And the other thing with today's evolution of products and things that are out there, I would say the majority of people doesn't even know what's available to them today, that they could take advantage
Right.
and leverage or hedge within their portfolio.
And it's one of the things I love about you guys because you're independent. That means that your toolbox of tools is significantly larger than those that might be pigeonholed into the insurance-only world or the securities-only world. If it is a product available to a pre-retiree or retiree, is it fair to say, Brian, you got it in the toolbox?
We can find it.
Yep, absolutely. Brian, last question for you. Most retirees are paying too much in taxes on their investments. True or false?
True. And the main reason for that is because most people don't do any kind of formal tax efficiency or look at that in any way. They just go through. In fact, the common thing we see out there is say, well, I have to pay on a tax. They just assume the way it is the way it is. And I can tell you from the planning that we've done with so many people, it doesn't have to be the way it is. You can do some things that are going to help you keep more of your hard-earned money in retirement through proper planning.
And I always like to say, create an example because I know that proper planning will help me do that, and I don't need a lot of examples, but maybe one comes to mind where, hey, with a little bit of planning here, we were to help this couple or individual out significantly.
Well, I can tell you in some of the tax efficiency planning, we have had many cases, many situations with clients where they have, throughout their lifetime, they're going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in the difference just because of some planning that they did now, because it's not the planning you do today necessarily that the benefit is received. It's over your entire life.
You know, Brian, I remember in a previous show I'd asked you that question. I said, could it possibly be tens of thousands? And you said, Mark, it could possibly be hundreds of thousands with the proper planning. All righty, guys, I want to thank you so much for today. If you want more information about anything we spoke about here today, pick up that phone right now and give us a call. We'd love to start a conversation with you. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're watching Retirement Planning Made Easy.
We can talk all day about Social Security, taxes, healthcare, income, and risk. But the truth is, your financial journey is unlike anyone else's. Hi, I'm Brian Nauman with the Advisor Group. Even a small difference like your age, assets, risk tolerance, or longevity can mean a big shift in your retirement strategy. That's why we created our customized TOP program. It focuses on the 6 most important issues that can help you make the most of every dollar you've saved for retirement. With over 30 years experience, we've developed a holistic, personalized approach to financial planning that puts you first. Please don't leave your financial future to chance. Call today or scan the QR code on your screen to schedule your complimentary consultation. The Advisor Group, providing financial peace of mind since 1991.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Ask Tag, where you email your questions into us and we answer them right here on the show. Lucas and Brad, I've got some great questions this week. Brad, my first one is for you, and it's from Henry in East Moline, and he writes, my wife and I have been watching your show for a while. It seems like you look at investing differently than my current advisor does. I retired last year, and my investments look the same as they did 5 years ago. I'm concerned that the strategy hasn't changed since we've retired. Are there other strategies that advisors use that are different in retirement?
Well, Henry, definitely there are. Advisors do many, many different things. We've seen everything ranging from the good to the bad. But if you haven't seen many changes in your portfolio, it might be a good time to look at what's going on, because when you retired, you entered a new phase in your life. You entered what's called the distribution phase. And that means things probably should change for you. So that's something we do with clients all the time. We sit down and we do have a unique perspective, we believe we do at least, for looking at the client's portfolio and looking at all aspects of their financial life and making them work together. That's probably something you need at this stage now that you're entering retirement.
Brad, you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember those old infomercials with Ron Popeil? And there was this one like little oven, and it was set it and forget it.
Yes.
Well, that would be the antithesis to your retirement. That's what you don't want to do. You want to be doing a regular annual review, and your advisor should be asking you life-changing, has anything changed in your life to be modifying your retirement? Tell me what you do with your clients. Do you do annual reviews? Do you see if their life changes? What does it look like at TAG?
Annual reviews are the minimum, I would say. You should be meeting with your advisor regularly. Anytime something changes, financially especially, you should let them know, because their job is to look at the entire picture, like I said before. So if there is a tiny change in the picture, then that might affect all the other portions of it. And so the advisor has to know that in order to adjust your plan to fit those changes. And retirement is a big change, but even after that point, there are other changes. It could be something as simple as you had a grandchild. I mean, that is a big change, especially financially.
So is it safe to say then, if it's been 5 years and nothing has changed, that there might be an issue there?
Yeah, there's probably a communication issue.
Gotcha. Lucas, next question for you, and it's from Jennifer in Clinton. Where in Davenport are you located? I will be coming from Clinton County.
Hey, Jennifer, that's a great question. We are conveniently located on the corner of 53rd Street and Jersey Ridge Road. A lot of our clients from Clinton find it easiest to take Highway 30 to Highway 61 South. Once you get into Davenport, you'll take a left on 53rd Street and you'll be able to find us. Please let us know when you want to visit, and we'll have everything ready for you for a nice and easy meeting.
You know, I want to talk about that for a minute because I've been to your office. It's wonderful, and the people there are super. Would you take a minute and describe the experience? Because I think this is really important for people because, you know, not every office greets you like you guys do. Not every office does the wonderful pleasantries that you guys do. So kind of take a situation here. I just got out of my car, I walk in, what happens?
Sure. So our clients can expect when they walk in that door, they are going to get greeted. They'll be offered a beverage for their meeting. We have great seating arrangements if they need to wait a few minutes. But once they're ready for the meeting, we'll get them into their seats. We'll give them the background of TAG about us, how we work, and we'll answer any questions. We'll see what we can do for you, and we would then schedule a second meeting to continue planning.
We pride ourselves on being educational, and so the number one thing we're going to try to do is educate that client and make them comfortable and make sure that they understand what we're talking about because it's so important that they understand their finances.
Got one last question for you, Brad. Got about a minute left, and it's from Susan in Pleasant Valley, and she writes, how can we leverage Roth conversions to create tax-free income in retirement?
Well, that is an excellent question. That is something of a specialty of ours. We love the idea of improving your tax situation, or what we call tax efficiency. So leveraging Roth IRA conversions is when you take an IRA or pre-tax money and you turn it into a Roth, and then when you take money out of that Roth IRA, it is now tax-free. Now, whether or not that's right for you is a question we would have to sit down and talk to you about. But for a lot of people, it provides a source of tax-free income and improves their overall tax situation for themselves and their heirs.
Lucas, Brad, thanks so much. If you want more information about anything we spoke about here today, hey, give us a call in the office. We'd love to start a conversation with you. Or you can go to our website. But most importantly, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're watching Retirement Planning Made Easy.
Now more than ever, it's vitally important to review your current retirement plan and get an educated second opinion. Hi, I'm Lucas Dengler, and for many American retirees and pre-retirees, this is a confusing time. As a local business here in the Quad Cities for over 30 years, we have educated thousands of families on how to retire well through all market conditions. Call now or scan the QR code on the screen to schedule your complimentary consultation. The Advisory Group, providing financial peace of mind since 1991.
You're watching Retirement Planning Made Easy.
Thank you for watching this week's show.
And if you want information on anything we spoke about here today, hey, give us a call or go to our website.
The Advisory Group, providing financial peace of mind since 1991.